Today I'm going to be reviewing the Andycine A6 4K HDMI monitor. Now you can pay a lot of money for a decent monitor. A lot of people swear by them. To be honest, I don't really use monitors very often. Whenever I'm shooting weddings, I tend to just use the screen on the GH5. But I do appreciate that there is a place for monitors in filming, especially if you're doing larger scale productions or someone else is monitoring the feed, then obviously you need an external monitor. Recently, I have been thinking more and more about getting a monitor and testing it out with my GH5. Now, Andycine have sent me this review, so it's good timing. This is the A6 Pro. Do not get it confused with the A6. The A6 got a slightly bigger screen, but slightly less functionality. This is the A6 Pro. Now, this is retailing in the UK for around £180. 5.5-inch screen. It says 4K. It's actually a 1080p screen. It just accepts 4K in, so don't be fooled by the 4K on the front. It's not a 4K monitor, it's a full HD 1080p monitor, but it does accept 4K HDMI in from your camera. So this is definitely being pitched at the DSLR mirrorless camera market. So run and gun filmmaking, small scale productions, music videos, that sort of thing. I don't think it's designed to be necessarily used on a professional film set, although you can easily use this as an extra monitor, provided it's any good. So let's just have a quick look at what you get in the box. So I did the unboxing earlier. It comes nicely packaged in a nice little box. So you get this neat little case. You get a few stickers, screen wipe, instructions, all that sort of thing, some more instructions. You get the sun shield adapter and the sun shield. Okay, so that comes in the bag. Get the shoe mount, so you can attach this to the top of your camera. This is nicely made, it's all metallic, it's not plastic. And that's how you attach your monitor to the top of your camera, okay? And it's also got another shoe mount on the side, so because you're nicking the shoe mount off the top, it gives you this other shoe mount should you want to attach anything else, like a wireless receiver or mic or anything like that. Okay, so that's in the bag, and you also get that. No idea what that's for, probably find out later. And this is an adapter that we'll be using later. Okay, so that's everything you get in the box. And then obviously the monitor itself. In terms of batteries, powered by your standard NPF, LPF, basically the batteries that you use to power your lighting. Those batteries are the ones you use for this monitor. Okay, and it just slots in as you would a standard battery. It's got a little switch on the side, enables you to release the battery. That's quite nice. Okay, now also in the back there's an option to add an external power kit, so you can power your wireless transmitters, and that fits on the back of the monitor nicely. Not very many monitors in this price range will have that option, so that's a big thumbs up. So let's go around the rest of the monitor. Don't know why I said it like that, a bit weird, but never mind. So you've got your HDMI in, your HDMI out, and your DC 12 volt in. Okay, turn it around. We've got your DC 8.4 volt out, so you can power your camera from the actual monitor itself. That's neat. You've also got a little headphone jack, so you can monitor the audio. And you've also got a DC in 5 volt type C. Now I'll show you what that's used for in a minute. And on the side you've got another 1/4 inch connection, so you can attach it to your tripod that way up if you wanted to. Okay, so that's cool. And then down this side we have our buttons. So we've got a standby button, turn it on and off. We've got up, down, our menu, and then we've got our custom menu on this side. Custom menu 1, 2, and left and right. Okay, so that's all our buttons. That's it. And then there's a screen on the front. It's got the red light to show that it's on standby. First impression of the screen, I don't really like the Andycine 4K writing on the screen itself. I think I'd rather it was just blank, to be honest. It's a bit misleading with the 4K anyway, and I don't know, I just think it would look slicker if it didn't have that on it, but that's a preference thing, isn't it? So, in terms of real world problems, I don't think that's one of them. So let's move on. So let's address the 4K thing again. It accepts 4K in from your camera, but the screen itself is 1080p full HD. Tricksters, eh? 4K on there, little tricksters. So let's just go through some specs and then I'm gonna run through the on-screen monitor settings. Okay, so spec-wise, So it's got 16.7 million colours. 1080p screen, supports 4K at 30 frames per second, so we've already addressed that. It's got 500 nits of brightness and it's got an adjustable backlight, so you can make your screen brighter or dimmer depending on your situation or your preference. And it's got an 80-degree viewing angle, so if you're over here, you can still see it. If you're here, you can't. That's obvious though, because you'll be looking at the side of the monitor. That's pretty good, so you can see it from most angles. I don't know what I did that, it doesn't mean anything, but yeah, you can see the screen from most angles. Nice. Right, so let's just power it on, and I'm gonna go through the settings with you. Now I'm just gonna attach it to this little stand I've got. So when I was putting this review together, I thought, let's make it look really slick and professional, and I'll hide my camera that is looking at this screen so you can't really tell. But I couldn't work out a position to do it. Like from above you'd be able to see it and it wouldn't get close enough to the camera. So I'm just going to put it here. So if you guys are enjoying the video so far, then please do give it a thumbs up. It shoots me up the old YouTube algorithm so that more people can watch this video and I can carry on making these videos. But if you don't like me or my videos, then probably not going to do that. But thought I'd ask. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in to this camera. So I'm going to grab my HDMI cable, I'm going to go HDMI in, and I'm going to go HDMI out from this camera. Okay, so let's hit the A6 standby button and power it on. Okay, so there we have our monitor. There's me. Okay, so great. Monitors are all working. So the great thing about this monitor is it's touchscreen. So if we just tap it twice, then we get our menu on the left-hand side of the screen. So these are all our screen functions. You can have your histogram on or off, okay? So you can see the histogram in the bottom right-hand corner. Your focus assist, you can have that on, okay? So you can have focus assist on, okay? So that's nice. Leave that off for now. Peaking colour red, I usually have mine as blue, I think, so we'll leave the peaking colour as blue. Overexposure, on or off, so you can see your little zebras. If you're overexposed, if you look at the fish tank here, we're getting some zebras there, so turn that off for now. And you can also do the false colours, okay, so you can turn your false colours on or off. These are basically your tools to get the best image out of your camera. These are more like your grid lines. Okay, so you can have your 9 grid on and off, so you can work out your rule of thirds by having your 9 grid on, safe frames on or off. Okay, so you can, obviously if we're going to crop, then you know. Center marker, you can have that on or off. Ratio marker, you know if you're going to be converted into 4:3, then you can work that out from here. So this is where you can change your modes, so you can change your aspect ratios. Okay, so you can change it to 4:3 if you wanted to. Obviously we want 16:9. If you're shooting with anamorphic, then you can turn that on or off on this. You can zoom in. If you really wanted to home in on your focus, obviously my hand's out of focus at the moment, 16 times. So you can zoom in up to 16 times. There's Kurt Cobain, cut his face off, which is a shame. If anyone ever wanted to know what that photo was on the wall behind me, it's Kurt Cobain. Now, surprisingly enough, I thought it'd be a talking point, but only one person has actually ever left a comment about Kurt Cobain, which is a shame, because he's a legend. Comment below now, you know, and let me know what you think of the guy. So this monitor, unlike some other monitors or your GoPro, when you flip the monitor, it doesn't flip the image. So you do have to do that manually on here using the image flip function. Okay, so now we've got our, basically the color section of the monitor. Now when Andycine said about sending me this monitor, this was the one function that I wanted that I didn't think would be on a monitor in this price range. But it is on this monitor, and that's the ability to use your own LUTs, which is amazing. So the top button is where you turn your LUTs on and off, okay? Now, first thing I'm going to show you to do is how to add your LUTs to the monitor. Now, earlier on in the tutorial, I was talking about the Type-C in, and I was also talking about this little adapter. So this is how you import your LUTs to the monitor, okay? So you import it via a USB or a memory card via the USB, and then it goes onto the monitor, and then you can just get rid of your memory card. It just gets stored on the monitor, which is cool. So yeah, to add LUTs, you just go to your LUT import here, and you're just gonna click on the right arrow, and it will search for the LUTs on your memory card or whatever you're importing via, and then it'll import it onto the monitor, okay? So I'm just importing my drone LUT pack. There's a link in the description. If you haven't already got it, then you should go over and buy that, because yeah, it's a decent LUT pack, and you should buy it. Half price at the moment. So you just go to your LUT switch at the top, and you switch it on, and then you can use your LUTs. Now if we go to our LUT table, you can see all the LUTs that you've just imported. So let's choose my emerald LUT. It should all go a nice shade of blue, which it has, so it really brings out the blues. Anyway, you don't need to know about the LUTs, but so if you wanted to choose a different LUT, then you would just go to your LUT table again, and let's choose a haze. This just puts like a milky haze on everything. Okay, and there you go. It's added it to your monitor. And it also comes with 4 custom LUTs on the monitor itself. And then you can also change colours on the monitor itself, and you can adjust the backlight from here. Now, having the ability to use LUTs while you're shooting is why I wanted to try Monitor out in the first place. Because in effect, you can use the LUTs that you're going to colour grade with in post. So when I colour grade my wedding films, I use certain LUTs. Now I can import the LUTs onto this monitor, and then when I'm shooting the wedding, I can see what it's going to look like pretty much on the screen in real time. So I know if I need to do any adjustments to my settings in the camera, because I know what it's going to look like in post. You know, that's brilliant. So, and then you've got your little settings thing. So this is where you can change the volume, change your custom keys, all that sort of thing. You can do all that in the settings here. So the only other thing is the actual screen itself is like a pinch screen, like an iPhone. So if you want to zoom in, you just pinch in and pinch out as you would an iPhone. If you want to change the volume, then you just swipe up on the right-hand side and it'll bring up your volume. And if you want to change the backlight, then you just swipe up on the left-hand side and you can change the backlight up and down. So in terms of actually how to use the monitor, that is pretty much that. So if you did want to attach it to your camera, then obviously you would use this attachment here. So it's got like little grooves, so when you screw it in, it stays, it's not going to move anywhere. And now I did see another review on an earlier version of the Andycine monitor where they were complaining about this very connection, and it looks like the people at Andycine have listened and redesigned it. So just goes to show that they are listening to consumers, which is good. And then that just fits onto your shoe. To attach the little Sunhood, this bit attaches to the screen as such, and then you get your Velcro, that just goes around the outside, and there you go, you've got yourself a nice little Sunhood. But the hood's quite big, it's big enough to protect you from direct sunlight. So now if you are going to be sending 4K down the HDMI, you are going to get a bit of a lag, but that's not the monitor's fault. 4K through HDMI is always going to give you a bit of a lag. Do be prepared for that. If you're going to be sending 4K through the HDMI, you are going to get a bit of a lag. I always downscale and just send through HD, and then there's hardly any lag at all. Other than that, really nice, sharp screen, touch screen, ability to use your own LUTs, the ability to add an external power kit. I think it makes it a really affordable and useful bit of kit. If you're shooting with a DSLR, mirrorless camera, weddings, music videos, that sort of thing, then I would get one. Just go and get one. 180 quid for a decent monitor that you can add your own LUTs to. That's a no-brainer, really. If you're looking for something usable and affordable, then the Andycine A6 Pro is definitely what you want. I really hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up. It really does help shoot me up the old algorithm. Plus, it makes me feel good. I like getting the old thumbs up. It makes me think that people like me. So even if it's just for that reason, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've used one of these before, or if you have any questions. I read and reply to all your questions. So anyway, that's it for this one. Catch you guys in the next one.